Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. I'm going to talk about Riyad Mahrez today. Now, in arguably our biggest game of the season, the Champions League second leg tie against the mighty Real Madrid, Pep Guardiola decided not to start with Riyad Mahrez and he picked Phil Foden instead, 20-year-old kid, instead of the experienced 29-year-old Riyad Mahrez. And I'm going to ask the question, are Mahrez's days numbered at Manchester City? Is he going to be on his way out? Yeah. I want to look at some of his stats, compared them with Foden, compared them with Sane and Sterling, because, hey, Riyad Mahrez is an attacking player, and what has he done for the last 2 seasons at City? And undoubtedly, he's got better. And if you look at his stats for his first season at City, he played 27 times. He scored 7 goals in the league and 4 assists. I'm just going to focus on the league. That's 13 goals and assists. This season, far better. He's played more times, 33 appearances. He's looked much better. He's looked much more confident. He scored 11 goals, 9 assists. That's a combined 20 goals and assists this season. And I think that's a decent number, and it's the minimum what he should be. 20 is the minimum, I believe, what Riyad Mahrez should be. He needs to really be back at the level he was at Leicester 5 seasons ago, where in the 2015-16 season, Leicester won the title. He featured 37 times, 17 goals, 11 assists. That's a combined 28. That's the level of champions. That's the level I think Riyad Mahrez needs to be. Now, we looked at, we were asking ourselves questions. Why did Pep start with Foden instead of Riyad Mahrez? And I think there's lots of ways you can look at this. Since the restart, I saw a stat from my friend Waleed, an Algerian journalist. Now, he said basically they played the same number of minutes. And then you look at the goals and assists, and Foden was like double. Yeah, his stats were a lot better than Riyad Mahrez's. Now, I think Riyad Mahrez had a good restart, and he's had a good season overall. Don't get me wrong, he started the season, I thought he was on fire. I still remember going to West Ham for the first game of the season. City won 5-0. Riyad was involved in all 5 goals. Won a penalty, got a goal himself, I think, and some assists. He was involved in everything. And then after that, he was dropped or rested for the game against Spurs, and Bernardo Silva came in. So City have got a lot of players. They've got a lot of options. And I thought this was the season that Riyad Mahrez would make it. As I said, he started off well. He went through the season pretty well. He looked a lot more confident. He was getting more game time. He was getting more responsibility. But when it came to the crunch, when it came to the end of the season and the big game against Real Madrid, Riyad Mahrez wasn't picked. Now, Pep went with a different strategy against Real Madrid in the second leg. He fooled a lot of people because he played with that false 9. He played with Gabriel Jesus on the left, Sterling on the right, and Phil Foden down the middle. Now, I think the whole idea, and I think we all saw it, was to get at and pressurise the Real Madrid defenders. And Foden did that incredibly well. I believe he ran over 9 kilometres in 63 minutes, if that's correct. That's a phenomenal amount of distance covered. Sterling worked hard. Gabriel Jesus worked hard. And when you look at their ages, and you look at Mahrez and you think, would Mahrez have done the same? I don't think Mahrez would have done the same. Foden's 20. Gabi Jesus is, I think, 23. Sterling's, 25? And they've got still that youthful energy. And there's no messing about. They put a lot in. That's how we got our goals with Gabriel Jesus' hard work and effort. Excuse me. And I just don't think Riyad Mahrez would have done anything like the same level of hard work, running around, chasing lost causes, being back defensively. We saw very early on Gabriel Jesus was playing at left back. He went that far back to help out. And I just think what we needed in that game was energy, a lot of commitment, a lot of chasing and running around for nothing. And I just don't think Riyad Mahrez would have given us that. He's not that kind of player. He's the kind of player who wants to do everything in an attacking sense. In the final third, that's where Riyad Mahrez comes to life. And I just don't think he was the kind of player that we needed that day. So it makes you wonder, what is his future at City? Is that just a one-off tactical game where Pep decided to go down that route of picking Foden? What will happen in the game against Lyon? Now, if Riyad Mahrez doesn't start against Lyon, then he's seriously got to question where he's going. And this next season, the following season, could be his make or break season at City, which sounds crazy for a guy, such a wonderful player, such skill and quality, winning titles at City and at Leicester. But that is the reality. We've got this kid coming in, Ferran Torres, who looks the real deal. He looks the business. Everybody's talking him up in Spain. And at City, well, at City, you're going to talk him up because, you're not going to buy a load of rubbish. And you're going to talk up the players you get. And look, Valencia had a €100 million release clause. City managed to get him much, much cheaper, simply because he was in the last year of his contract. And Valencia didn't want to let him leave for nothing at the end of the season. So he's coming in and he's going to be fighting with Riyad Mahrez for that right wing spot. And that's a problem for Riyad. How's he going to cope with competition for his place? And he's already had that with Bernardo Silva, and I think he won that battle. Bernardo Silva's been more playing in the centre this season and less out on the wing. That's been Riyad's spot. That's why he's played 33 times in the league. But with Ferran Torres, he's going to put additional pressure on Riyad Mahrez. And if Riyad Mahrez doesn't perform, Ferran Torres, I'm sure, with a little bit of game time and confidence, he'll take over from Riyad Mahrez. If Mahrez is not performing, I think Ferran Torres will perform. You've seen him on YouTube, you've seen him in games, you've heard what everybody said, and he looks like a top talent. And Riyad Mahrez will have to be at the very top of his game to stop this kid taking his place. And another disappointment for me, I'm going to look at briefly some stats. I mean, Foden, this season, he's not the same as Mahrez. He's not a goal scorer and a creator as much, but he's got 5 goals and 2 assists in 23 appearances, quite a few off the bench as well. Okay, you can say that's not a lot, and it isn't, but it's better than last season. Look at someone like Sane. Okay, forget Sane this season. He played one time in the league. He was injured, obviously. Last season, he got 10 goals, 10 assists. That's combined 20, same as Mahrez this season. But Sane faded away last season. He was coming on a sub and wasn't doing much. The season before, Sane was on fire. He scored 10 goals, 15 assists, combined 25. That's where Riyad Mahrez needs to be. Sterling, this season, he's played 33 times in the league, 20 goals, 1 assist, very poor on the assists. I've criticised some of his gameplay for several months because he wasn't contributing to the side. He started the season well. He finished the season very well, scoring goals, causing trouble. The previous season, when we were formidables, we won all the domestic trophies. Sterling played 34 times. He scored 17 goals and 10 assists. That's combined 27. And that's the level we need to be. The Sane level of 25, the Sterling level of 27. Mahrez needs to up his game. He needs to up his game and get into the high 20s. So my concern for Riyad is if he doesn't perform this coming season, he's going to be looking at Ferran Torres to take his place. He's going to be looking maybe at Bernardo Silva having a few games out there as well. And sometimes when the Pep wants to change it up, Sterling going on the right and Mahrez will be on the bench. So I think this next season is going to be Riyad Mahrez's make or break season. If he doesn't come to the party, if he doesn't deliver almost every single time he steps on the pitch, then I think this coming season could well be Riyad Mahrez's last season. By the end of the season, he'll be, 30 years old? If he's on the bench, is he going to want to stay on the bench for the last 3 or 4 years of his career? I'm not so sure he'll want to do that. The money might be great at City, but you'll come to a point where when you're not playing enough and you just want that game time. And at 30 years old, Riyad Mahrez will still be young enough. He'll still have those, as I said, 3 or 4 years ahead of him to be able to make that one final big move, whether it's to PSG, for instance, or whether it's to Germany, or whether he wants to move to another club in England that would be interested in, maybe Arsenal or whoever. But this season is Riyad Mahrez's make or break season at City. If he doesn't do it this season, I think he's gone next summer. Guys, if you're new to our channel, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. See you around, Blues.